Thank you everybody to be here today. I'm very happy that this conference is here in Miami. We've been doing so many conferences around the world. Thanks to Nidar and Lengua and Gluttony to have this conference. I'm very proud of this. I'm very happy to be here. Basically, I'm pastry chef. I've been working for around 30 years for restaurants, hotels, resorts. Later, I own restaurants in Miami and Mexico. Education for me is the most important thing today for any culinary person because you need to have the background, you need to have the theory and the everything, management, not just learning how to cook or how to make a dessert, the organization, the theater, everything that only the educational institution they can show you and they can teach you to do it.
And then let's move to you, Pamela.
Yes, thank you. Well, once again, thanks so much for having me. I'm really honored to be here. So you asked about my background. My background is in economic development. I realize that may not sound very sexy, but what that means is that I've really been part of the growth of Miami and looking at how Miami can grow economically speaking. And I've been focused quite a bit on the international growth of Miami, about how Miami has really evolved as a global business destination. And now in my new role as Dean of the School of Business, I have the opportunity to really help connect businesses with talent at our institution. So it's great to be here, and thanks again for the invitation.
Thank you both. Antonio, coming to you, what are the main benefits for a professional chef in continued education, and how do you access it? Because we go to culinary school and we learn how to julienne a carrot, but there's other things that you need to add to that education. How do you access this type of education?
Today is very easy. You can access online. Most of the course online for culinary, for chef, for pastry chef. Also in social media, you can see many videos show you a lot of techniques that today is more easy than 30 years ago. 30 years ago, it's not social media, it's no online classes. Today, with all these congress, activities, classes around the world, people, they can get inspired to do something. It's very easy today to everybody access a computer, a smartphone, and learn the technique from another chef. Because I always say chef and pastry chef is like a doctor. Every day we need to learn something new. Every day is a new technique. Every day is something new in the market. And talking about pastry, that is my main expertise. Today, they have so many ingredients that they make our life very easy to make any desserts. You can make dessert and you can make custard, you can make pastry cream in 5 minutes. And you can eat it in 20 minutes. With all the ingredients, texturizing, jellifies, that they've been working the last 15 years. You can make a jelly with pasting rapid set in 2 minutes, and you can make a bonbons, and you can put it in the mold in 30 minutes, you have bonbons, instead of waiting 1 day. It's a lot of techniques that I always say we are like the new doctor in the gastronomy, because we need to learn every day. Every day is a new technique, it's a new ingredients, it's every day is new,
And lots of people are coming to your classes, they're coming to your social media, and they're using your content to learn. But where does Mr. Bachour go to learn? Where do you look for new information?
I went to the culinary school. I attended many more than 100 classes before 30 years ago in Spain, Italy, in France. I trained in France. I went to the culinary school in New York, in France. But even today, I have more than 5,000 books in my house. I buy 5,000 books. I like to read books. It's like I say, it's very important to you have the knowledge, because everybody has something to put in this industry. I don't know anything more than everybody, but I studied a lot. Instead of going to party, I prefer to stay home and learn 2-3 hours learning from another chef, from another books, practicing after that. It's a hard work. It's not easy. It's very, very tough. But at the end, it's very grateful, because when you have passion to do that, it's priceless.
And Pamela, from like an academic standpoint, how are you guys at Miami-Dade College helping create curriculums that ensure students are prepared for the demands of the hospitality industry, because it is a demanding industry.
Absolutely, yeah. So for us, we're known as Democracy's College. And what that means is that we're an open access institution, academic institution. And what we're really committed to is giving everybody in the community the opportunity to really develop their career, whether it's in culinary or hospitality, aviation. But speaking today about culinary, I think our commitment is such that we have an institute. If for those of you that haven't visited, please come and visit us. But within our curriculum, we really engage with the industry, and we really hear closely to what the industry needs. So we have some of the very introductory chef's apprenticeships, introductory courses, but we're also now weaving in a lot of the technology needs that a lot of the companies that are based here are telling us. Something else we're doing is really weaving in a lot of the sustainability and listening to what some of those needs are. We're really excited about seeing Miami-born, Miami-designed growth. This is what we're here for. We are here to serve our community and to help Miami grow as a culinary and hospitality destination. And so it's really exciting to be able to see that front row. Our faculty does a really great job, but I have to say, we have some really great partners in the community, some of which are in the audience today, but a lot of really great partners that really help us understand how we can really deliver on that curriculum, especially for those in our culinary and hospitality. I think that there's such a need for not only, yes, of course, the craft, but also the artisanal needs, the design needs, the business needs. And so I think it's really great and really exciting.
And staying on continued education, but stepping away from sort of the practical culinary skills, I'd like to show some stats on the screen right now. This comes from a survey that I was part of alongside the Culinary Institute of America. The James Beard Foundation was also involved in this survey. It came just after the pandemic. We spoke to 2,000 chefs, and we were trying to look for where they had gaps in knowledge and where they needed to continue their education. And I think this was probably the most shocking figure, or maybe not shocking actually for people who work in the industry, but 80% of these 2,000 chefs we spoke to said that they lack practical business knowledge. If we jump to the next slide as well, we can see exactly where they lacked that knowledge. So how to attract investment, and by the way, we have a whole talk on that coming up as well. Managing finances, so as Misha was speaking about, maintaining that profit and loss account, building business plans, creating financial models, help with advertising and branding. This is what they told us. These are the practical skills that we'd like to learn. It wasn't cooking skills that they were looking for. If we jump to the final slide before we start to discuss this, this is why they didn't improve these skills, because we wanted to know what's stopping you from getting these skills. And you can see that the number one answer was that they said they didn't have time to learn these skills, or worse, that they don't know where to access this type of education, or they can't afford it. They're worried they can't afford it, or they don't even believe that these resources are actually available. And it's nice to see that only 1% said they don't want to learn those skills, because if you flip that on its head, that means 99% of these 2,000 people we spoke to said, I know I'm lacking this knowledge and I want to learn this knowledge. So staying on this idea of the practical business skills that people want to learn, coming to you first, yeah. Pamela, if I've been working in kitchens for 4 or 5 years, I'm comfortable with my culinary skills. How do I access the type of education that gives me the business acumen that I need?
Sure. So something that we do, and I know this is something that's fairly new for us, but we're aligning our curriculum with entrepreneurship. So exactly what your study or survey confirms. A lot of our students are already, with their own business on the side, starting whether it's on sauces, on catering, on developing a new coffee, whatever it may be. We're really looking at, okay, what are the entrepreneurship skills that our students can take away from this? What we also integrate is a lot of the business communication skills. How can they effectively negotiate? How can they effectively market? On the digital marketing front, huge. We have a lot of different programs and a lot of, I'm sorry to get too academic here, but industry certifications that really help businesses succeed. And so I think that gives our students a well-rounded experience for that practical business knowledge. We really developed it because a lot of them said to us, this is great, but how can I make sure that when I leave, I can be successful in my respective career? A lot of our students, 95% of our students are already working, probably working for many of the companies that are here today. And a lot of them just really want to learn how they can continue to grow. The most important takeaway for us is that all of our students want to make sure that they have a pathway to their career. Many of them are already where they are, but they know where they want to be. And they want to continue growing. They want to be the next Antonio Bachour, and they want to be able to really make a mark for themselves. And so they've got the entrepreneurship spirit. It's ingrained in them. It's a part of who they are. We're just really helping connect the dots and then really helping enhance the overall experience with some other cultural and innovative ideas that we have. Yeah.
Nice. And Antonio, for you, where did you seek this knowledge? Because it's also, a lot of learning can just be done by making mistakes. But when it comes to business, that can be a very costly way of learning. So how do you access that type of education for your business growth?
When we thought to open our first business was after 25 years working for hotel or for restaurant. Because I always say I'm chef. I don't know nothing about business. You know, we are so passionate to prepare, to spend time in the kitchen that we don't worry about front of the house. That's the 99% of the chef program today, because we are so passionate. Chef, when you work 18 hours a day, 15 hours a day, 7 days a week, holiday, because you have passion to do that. Otherwise, it's hard. It's a very tough life because we work 7 days. I don't know what it was my last time I took 1 day off. You know, we work so many hours, and then our mind is focused just in preparing, to creating, and then you need to surround it with people that know how to run a business, because otherwise you will fail. That's why so many restaurants they open, so many restaurants they close. And sometimes you have a great restaurant and take long time to succeed, because it depends. You know, you need to front of the house, the business, human resource, marketing, taxes. You know, it's a whole world that we don't never thought that would be so hard. From in my side, thanks God we have a Miguel Alfaro here. He 25 years ago he was my boss in the restaurant, and then become my manager, director of operation, and is our partner in many things that we do together. You know, when you surround with people like him, that he know how to run business, he do 90% of the show. We cook, we create recipe, but he run the front of the house, taxes, marketing with the marketing company. You know, it's a whole. I think restaurant business is very tough. It's not like a regular business. You know, it's many components, customer service, people complaining about the food or about the dessert. Every day is something new that you need to have the people with the skill to manage this.
Do you still see yourself predominantly as a chef or as a businessman now?
Chef. You know, I always say I'm chef. I'm a businessman. My brother and Miguel, they're running the business. I want to focus always to do what I know to do. That is to create dessert, to create food, this is my passion. I always say this career saved my life. When I was 17, I have a very illness situation that they only give me 2 years to survive, and now I'm here after 32 years because I focus in...
Tell us about that.
You know, when I was 17 years old, they discovered a brain cancer tumor in my brain, and then I spent 1 year in the hospital, and then they only give me 2 years. And then I went to the culinary school, and I was working 17 hours a day because I want to forget what all the medication I was taking, and until now, you know, because sometimes when you don't think too much, everything you have a resolve, everything, you know. And then I was grateful for this career because they saved my life. And then for me, it's my passion.
Beautiful. And I think it's been the savior for lots of chefs in different ways, no?
Yeah.
It's the outlet that lots of young people are looking for. Gastronomy can be that it's very open. Everyone's accepted in the world of gastronomy, you know? You work your way up, you work hard. There's a place for everyone in that world.
Yeah, I think today it's more easy than before, like 30 years ago, 20 years ago. Today, so many open for young people to learn, to go, to train. I remember when I went to Spain 25 years ago, I don't have money. I was working dishwasher in the night to work for free in the day to learn, to have the access to learn. Today, you can get any internship in Europe, in Asia, here in the United States. People they have the flexibility to do these things online, like I said before. It's more easy. Just you need to have the passion. When you are passionate, everything can come out easy.
And Pamela, what would you say to those chefs who answered this survey who said, I have no time to learn new skills or I can't afford to access it? What do they do? Where do they go? Where are those resources available?
Okay, so the time factor is one that I think we all struggle with. So that's a hard one. I'm going to have to say you're really going to have to try to find the time. Like we are all challenged for that. On the accessibility point, I would say come to MDC, obviously, but no, quite frankly, there are so many resources in the community, and I think that so many of them go unknown. I think that's one of our biggest challenges, to really reaching out and being present. I also think that there are a lot of new ways that these opportunities can be accessed. That's something that we're finding. Our students, they're not the standard, in classroom type of experience. A lot of it is online, a lot of it is hybrid, a lot of it is interaction with industry, taking part in conferences, thoughtful conversations like today's. So I think that if we're able to sort of create a momentum and an awareness about what some of those opportunities are and resources, they are there. We're inspired. Frankly, by just how much is out there in the community, whether you have a business, you want to start a business, you're new to the culinary, or you just want to take your career in a different direction. There are so many resources there. So I would encourage, that's why I spend a lot of time encouraging folks to look at those opportunities.
You need to find time.
To find time. And I think it's part of the commitment that we all have to make, whatever goal we have. And I realize that in the culinary, I have a lot of friends that work in this industry. Time is never enough. Time is never enough. The hours are what they are, but that's part of what makes it exciting. And I think that what's nice is to be able to help them find a balance and help them understand that it's part of the process and part of the journey. And then really just helping, and you can tell us yes or no, but I think really helping them see that there's a greater community of support. That is extremely important, and really guiding them to those opportunities and really helping them understand how we are all really connected and there are different opportunities for wherever we may be.
And I think it's been one of the big changes in the industry. I remember, let's say 12, 13 years ago when I was first getting into gastronomy, you still had that moment where you'd ask for a recipe and you'd get a recipe with 4 ingredients missing because people were too protective to share. You've done it. You're smiling. I know you have.
Never. I have 8 books. I always sharing all the recipe. It's very important because, when you sharing is, for me, because when I share a recipe, I started working for a new recipe always ahead of the time. When many of the great chefs, or many chefs I know, always when you develop recipe, sometimes you share what you're doing now, but you have in the back new technique for the next 2-3 years. It's good to share because when also the competition is good. When you have competition, it's good because people, they can compare. I always say it's good. For me, when they open many more restaurants or many more pastry shops, it's good because people, they have the time to share, to compare, what is better quality, what is better products. It's good. If you are good and you use, like Misha say, the best ingredients, you will never fail. It's more people that will start talking, and the people that will come back to your restaurant if you have the best ingredients.
And how do we encourage and facilitate more knowledge sharing within the community of the culinary community?
For me, I think to do all this Congress, I think like a Worldwide Congress, Madrid Fusion, Gastromasa, inviting chefs to share, doing demo, they inspire people. I think one time I was with Massimo Bottura, once somebody asking how he feels to be the best chef in the world. He said, no, I'm not the best chef in the world. I'm the most inspired chef in the world. He said that. And then, I was surprised. I was in shock. And it's true. When you inspire people, that means that you're doing something great.
And what about you? What do you think from an academic standpoint?
From an academic standpoint, why?
We have an issue with the mic for Pamela.
Maybe it was me. Thank you. With that, I think for us, I think our students love when we bring partners to the table. We have a couple of programs called Culinaria. Some of you have participated in them, where we bring in chefs from the community or from outside. We recently had a delegation from Italy of Italian chefs that came. We're going to have another delegation coming in from Spain this fall. And I think the more we can do that, the better. The more we can facilitate those connections, the better. And something that I think we all know is that the culinary industry is so, at the very essence, very noble and very giving. Extremely giving. There isn't one chef or one hospitality group that we reach out to that says no, or that says, let's find a solution. I talked to Antonio just before this, and he was telling me, I'm going tomorrow to wherever, Spain. Today, he's on a plane to Spain. Then he was in Qatar. And I said, well, will you come and talk to our students and meet with our students? And he said, yes, absolutely. We've had so many of these interactions, and I think that going back to what makes it impactful is that everybody wants that sort of, front row experience. Everybody wants sort of like that, yes, I've spoken with him or her. That's really what matters. At the end, I think it's all really about that connection and about that human touch.
And it leads on nicely to the next question. At the end of the day, we have a session all about mentorship. I won't reveal it right now.
Yeah.
How important is that, and how do we encourage more mentorship in this industry? What do you do at the college, for example?
So both ways. I think it's wonderful to be able to bring in mentors for our students. They love it. And I think on the other side, those that do provide their time and guidance enjoy the experience as well. I think it's a two-way street. And so we really look to establish those really well-founded long-term mentorships. We guide our students, please be respectful of time. We help manage those expectations. But what we've seen has been really phenomenal. A lot of the students that have mentors, will work with them on a project, work with them on a certain special dinner, a special lunch, special menu. And that's so gratifying because it makes it real. And it really takes it, that's not me. It really takes it outside of the classroom and really makes it a little bit more impactful in that respect. We love when we have a restaurant at our institute where we have the chefs that come, they design the menu with our students, they cook the menu, they prepare the wine, the whole experience, it's very rich. And I think the more we do of that, the mentorship is key.
And I know you've been a mentor for lots of people and helped their career grow, but who's your mentor? Do you still have someone that you call and ask questions?
Many chefs in Spain, Paco Torreblanca, Pierre Hermes in France. I remember when I went first time to Spain. For me, I went to Spain. I did an internship with Paco Torreblanca, and then I had the opportunity to teach with him side by side in France, in Mexico, in Italy. For me, it was a dream come true. And then. My idol was Pierre Hermes 25 years ago when he was working in Fashion. I went there and then I received his book, he received my books. We did some event together. Maybe in September we're cooking together in France with a restaurant. And for me, it's priceless to see this. I think everybody they have a mentor or somebody they were inspired. Because gastronomy is about inspiration. I think all the chefs get inspired from another chef or another technique, because otherwise it's like a chain. You see what the other chef did 20 years ago, and then you do the same but with another way, another techniques, and every day is much better, and then I think it's like that. I think everybody they has some models or some inspiration from the back.
And I want to ask you both the same question. It's a bit open-ended, but where does this industry need to grow? Personally, I hear 18 hours a day and I say that's something that we need to work on. That balance and if we want to attract younger people into the industry, 18 hours a day.
They don't happen anymore. Nobody works more than 8 hours.
Yeah.
But, only the head chef, yes. But, most of the people work 8 to 10 hours a day. Yes, it's very important also. It's a big mistake to work so many hours because you get tired and you cannot do the same job of 8 hours. They don't happen anymore. I was in Lima last week and then we did a pop-up and then most of the people in the restaurant in Asia, they work 6 days. I think here in the United States, we are very lucky that people work 5 days.
And where would you like to see this industry growing? Where do you think it could be better?
I think now with the chef sharing knowledge, people, the culinary school, they're doing a great job today. I remember 10 years ago, I was invited to do some classes in Cordon Bleu and some school in France and London. When I see the curriculums, they've been teaching the same thing like 30 years ago. And then when you see a student came to work for you with only they know how to make a pâté sablé or with the same upper tatin or like a classic. I think the world changed. Now I think 5 years ago all the culinary schools they changed the mentality. They hire a new chef. They update the curriculums. They're doing many things because today it's different like 30 years ago. The food is different. The technique is different, and people. Before, when they get out from the school, they lost because they don't know how to work because when they go to the real, it's different. It's different. I think now with the culinary school, they're doing this. They're inviting chef, they're inviting more, a lot of guest chefs to train the new trends of cooking or pastry.
And same question to you, Pamela.
So for me, I think, we talk a lot about the impact of technology and how that's important, and that certainly is. But I go back to the human connection. And I go back to really empowering that individual who's going to lead a team, who's going to lead the restaurants, who's going to, going back to that element of hospitality and allowing them to really explore what that truly means so that they can build a culture of team, of oneself, certainly the culture of the respective, venue or restaurant, whatever it may be. But I think that the human connection and really empowering those in the culinary and hospitality industry with more of like these just really empowering skills. That's where I see a lot of it. I see a lot of chefs really giving so much of themselves. And it's wonderful. It's beautiful. But those of us that are on the receiving end want to make sure that they're also receiving something as much. And so that's something that we really try to instill in our students. And it can come in a lot of different ways. It can come because you're in a beautiful space and you know that you have the tools necessary to design and think and create and innovate and craft. But it can also just be coming into a space where you know that you're going to find other people that will relate to what you're saying, that will really understand, okay, we see where you're going. And so I think for me, the culinary and hospitality industry gives so much. It's important to really embed ways in which, as leaders, you can really learn to accept some of the kindness and just generosity that's by nature defines this industry.
Sometimes, like I said before, sometimes you need to do what the customer wants. Sometimes chefs want to do what we like. And today it's not like that. Today you need to do what the people want, what the customer, they pay. I like to do many things that I like it, but 80% of the customers, they will not like it. I think we need to switch our mentality, mind, and put out the shoes of the customer to see what they like, to sit down and eat. Sometimes we need to sit down in the dining room to see many mistakes that we do and check a list. Also, hire a good people, good management people to manage the place. Like I say, it's very tough business. The restaurant is many things every day. It's front of the house, back of the house, with many more problems every day. And the quality, to be sure that the quality is on point, that people, they don't get sick for the food. It's hard, but when you have the organization, you need to organize. You need to have the detail, the organize, the people. Sometimes I know it's very hard, but sometimes when you open a restaurant, you need to have budgets because you need to take care about the food cost, about the labor cost. Sometimes, chef, we don't think about food cost, and our food cost is 60, 70%. And then our labor cost is the same, and then we're losing money every day, every week, and we need to learn that. I think the first thing that when we want to prepare to open a business, you need to have a business plan. You need to know everything, how much is your budget in labor costs, food costs, in rents, like everything to success. But otherwise, it will be very tough. But you need to learn that. You need to learn from the institution, or you need to learn with somebody that they make 20 times mistake before, or to hire a good people to manage your place. Thank you.